is recording now. All right, good.
All right. Okay, Matt and Nicole. So one of the things that we do have for you guys set in place is something called the child safety kits. Now these are critical because let me look at you. Now these are critical because they deal with our child safety. One of the biggest fears that families have when I sit down with them is childhood abduction. Yeah. We all have been there before. You and your son or your daughter.
Yeah, my little girl, man.
At the grocery store. And, you turn around and all of a sudden you don't see them. Your heart starts pounding. Oh, I know,
Dude, it just happened the other day in my own house.
Oh, I believe that. Those 30 seconds feels like hours. And then, you see them running around the corner and everything's all good again.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what these actually do is these make sure that parents can get the information to the authorities in that time of need. Because that's one of the biggest fears, like I said, a lot of parents do have. So what you would do here is you would fill out your child's name, the day, the month, the year you completed it on. We'll open this up right here. You'll fill out the personal information on this section. So things that are subject to change, you put in pencil. Permanent things, you'll put in pen. Right here, we have an intuitive stick figure. So you can mark up this stick figure with birthmarks, scars, glasses, braces, things of that nature.
Okay.
Just to better, assist cops in finding your child if we were to send out that Amber Alert, God forbid.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right down here we have our fingerprint information. So basically we recommend doing this around bath time because, it is a wet strip, can get a little messy. Okay. And we don't want your furniture getting messed up or anything else getting messed up. So yeah, you do this left to right to avoid smudging. Right up top here, we have the DNA sample. You just take one hair from the follicle, put it right there, and that's it for there.
Oh man, so once you mouth it off to me, I can't just take a whole handful?
No.
I'm just kidding. I don't do that to my daughter.
All we need is one. Right here, you would attach the photo, and we recommend that you update the information and change the photo as frequently as you change the time for daylight savings and things like that nature. Yep. So the other thing that we do recommend is that when you do sit down with your children, because what we do have in the back is we teach your child how to use 911. This is an important information to parents. So what we do teach them is to use something like a code word, because in this day and age there's a lot of bad things that happen to good people. So we don't want your daughter, for example, having her name on her book bag or something, and a stranger comes up and says, hey, something happened to your father. And because her name's on her book bag, they know, Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. So we decided to come up with something of a code word.
Okay.
This way, it's not as present or it's not as, people don't notice it in the moment. And your daughter can use this at any time, let's say she's in a situation where she's peer pressured into doing something she's not ready for. She can give you that call and let you know, hey, can you bring my soccer ball back? That's a word a lot of parents like to use because it's generic, Yeah. It's not something a lot of kids could figure out.
Yeah, my girl loves soccer.
Exactly. So yeah, she'll just say hey, can you bring by my soccer ball? And then she's in a situation where she needs to get picked up.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing that we do ask for you, well, actually, hold up. Sorry, I skipped one part of this. Let me just put this away. Okay.
Thanks, yeah, because I don't want that getting loose in my house.
Yeah. We don't want your kids getting into this already. All right, so when we sat down with the International Police Association, we made a pledge basically to get these out to as many families as we could, because you do see the value in this, I'm sure. And you see how important this is. Yep. So, given the amount of time and resources that we do have, do you think we'll be able to give this to as many families as, rightfully deserve this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, probably not, just because, I'm the only agent working in this area. So it could be hard to get to all those families. But, a lot of parents, they know other parents. Yeah. So what we do ask is if you know anybody that you would like to recommend this program to, I can take down their name, their number, and their information just to make sure they get these child safety kits. One of the good things about these child safety kits, again, is they also come up with an app. We came out with that about a week and a half ago. So yeah, it's all at the press of a button. So yeah, do you have those names ready for me?
Yeah, I definitely want to get one to the other manager in my office, Elena.
Okay.
She's got a little boy.
One boy?
Yeah, just one little boy.
Okay.
Yep. And she's got Her boyfriend might pick up. He's a
Okay.
little bit, I don't know. He seems pretty nice, but just in case, I'd let you know that she has a boyfriend, all right?
Got you. And she's local, I'm guessing.
Yeah, she's right in Syracuse because she works with me.
Okay. Cell phone number?
Yeah, it's 585 346 4609.
All right. Since we do have your cell phone out, do you have anybody else you would like to recommend this program to?
Yeah, let me look. I know this. Well, definitely my sister, bro, because
Okay.
she's got twins. And
Oh, wow.
And another one. They got 3 girls, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. They probably got their
hands
handfuls.
full.
One of the best benefits of this is it cuts down an Amber Alert from about 8 hours to about 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's freaking sick. I used to be a cop.
Wow.
It was
Thank
so
you for your
hard getting that
service.
information. I appreciate it. It was hard getting that information from people. You know, they're freaking out and being a parent. I get it. Yeah, so Danae Castor. Yep. She's got 3 little ones.
3 little
all
ones.
girls.
All girls.
Yep. And then her phone number is 585-343-6721.
And where's she located?
Baldwinsville.
Baldwinsville.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So at the top right here, I'm just gonna ask you. Well, I'm gonna have you sign right here. But what's your affiliation again? What's your union?
We're the OPIU.
All right.
1132.
All right, I'm gonna date this right here. Can I get your phone number again?
Yep. 315.
Yep.
592. 1210.
All right, and can I just have your signature right up top? All right, thank you so much. All right, Matt and Nicole. So what you qualified for is something called the Premier Family Care Plan.
Okay.
So your weekly contribution, if you choose to enroll in this program, would be $38.22 a week. The reason why it's $38.22 a week is because it's based off something they call the Hour of Power principle.
Okay.
Now, so basically, what this does is, you take the first hour of your paycheck, pay yourself, with the other 39 hours plus overtime. You do with it as you please. Now, a lot of families like that because you're covered. You don't have to worry about any gaps in your protection, and you can go to sleep well at night. All right. Now, let me just give you a little scenario. Now, if I was your boss and I was to come in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change your work schedule to a permanent 41-hour-a-week schedule," would you run home and tell your wife, "Honey, we made it," and go buy that brand new red Porsche?
And maybe if it didn't have an engine and wheels.
Yeah. So now, if the roles were reversed and I took that hour away, would you have to sell off everything to make ends meet?
No, of course not. I just tell her to stop getting her nails done.
See, so probably not. So, and that's why this principle is based off. It's based off of affordability. It's going to be based off the $12 an hour you make and the $15 an hour you make. Now, does this sound good to you guys? I'm just going to show you how this can be affordable to you.
Okay. Makes
All right.
sense. I definitely see where you're coming from.
Okay. So, the next document that we have here is something called the freedom of choice. Now, have any of you guys been on the opposite end of arranging a funeral?
Yeah, my aunt and my great aunt and grandma died within a week of each other unexpectedly.
Oh my gosh.
It was not easy. It was tough.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry for that.
No, it's alright. Yeah, it was like freaking expensive too.
See, and that's the problem. Like a lot of funerals right now end up costing around 15 grand.
Yeah,
if
hers
you wanna
was
go
14
traditional.
because we tried to go as cheap as we could.
Yep. So like I said, yeah. So most funerals usually end up costing around 15 grand, and because of inflation and things of that nature, it just keeps going up. I don't know if you heard about these two companies going around. One is called SCI out of Texas. The other one's a local company called Newcomers.
Yeah.
Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to like buy up all the funeral homes, all the mom and pop ones, and just corner the market, like be the Walmart of the funeral homes, if you will. So before, what they used to do was you used to get paid 60 days after your policy. I mean, they would hold it down as collateral. Now, they can wait up to 60 days, right? Before it was 21 days, I'm sorry. So it was 21 days before that they can hold up your policy for and hold it as collateral. But now they can do it up to 6 months.
Holy cow.
Yeah. The reason why they do this is because of interest.
grimy.
Yeah, that's why they hold on to that money. They're trying to make as much money as they can from you guys. Now, most families that I sit down with, they don't have $7,000 plus laying around to pay for that funeral. And the ones that do, they know they have to hold on to that to the bills that come therefore after. After taking care of their loved ones. What this document does is it gives you the peace of mind of knowing that you basically have a blank check here and it will cover your funeral costs. Because when that time does come, when you have to bury your best friend, we're trying to make it as easy and as painless as possible. So what you can do with this document right here is you go into any funeral home. We'll give you your policy right here. Let's say it's $30,000, right? You'll fill out the information here. The funeral home director or witnesses here. You sign as beneficiary, address, hand it in, and you're done. And you don't have to worry about anything anymore. What we will do is whatever the cost difference is, we will cut that out and give you, and we'll give it to your beneficiaries as a difference.
So
one thing that we do ask,
yep. Oh.
One thing that we do ask is, given your policy, you never tell them the amount that you have to work with. Reason being is because if you were to put that, if you told the funeral director you had $30,000 to work with, what would you think your funeral would magically cost?
It's going to be over $25,000 easy.
Exactly. So as long as you don't tell them what you have to work with, we won't tell them what you have to work with. And that's how you can get that difference in that check. Right here, this is a local number. It's not Peggy in Russia. If the funeral director calls right here, he's going to get one of our local girls, Sue or D, that picks up the phone. And why a lot of funeral directors love this is because this is backed by a big union, like the ones you're a part of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they know they're going to get paid. So right here, they don't worry about it. As soon as you sign off on it and hand it in to them, you're good to go. Your arrangements are taken care of. All right. The next document I have for you guys is something called, the next document I have for you guys is your hospital clothes supplemental package. So basically what this does is, this is basically your living benefits, your accidental benefits, and like we went over with the freedom of choice. These are the things you're covered for. So let's start off at the top and show you represented with that $30,000 for your burial. Okay. Now, if we go down here, now this is what a lot of our families love, because you get an accidental death and dismemberment policy. You get $140,000 in accidental death. The other thing you get
is that just for what if I die at work though?
On or off the job.
Holy cow.
Yep, on or off the job site, you'll be covered for that. Now with this right here, in an automotive death, like a lot of companies, what they do is they cut back their coverage, when the risk is higher. What we do is we give you more money. You'll see that more further, like when I go through the program. But what we'll actually do is we'll actually give you $180,000. And with phones and everything, like that's what makes everything so dangerous. But like I said, we'll double. Well, not double. We'll
see idiots on the phone every day.
Yeah, we'll give you an extra $40,000 if you were to die in automotive death, as long as it's your personal vehicle.
Okay.
You could be in the back sleeping. You could be driving. It could be your fault, whatever the case may be.
Wow.
Yeah. The other benefit we have is called the common carrier death. This you'll get covered for $300,000. And that a common carrier will be classified as like a taxi, a boat, bus, train, plane, things of that nature. Now right here, this is our living benefit.
What are these numbers that you wrote in?
Oh, sorry. So right up top
okay.
here, this is what your child would be covered for in the same accidental death and dismemberment plan. So it's not a separate policy or anything. We got you, your spouse, and your child covered, and you have that $30,000. But what you would get for your child is $8,000 for accidental death, $1,600 for automotive death, and $40,000 for the common carrier. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the living benefits. This is something a lot of families love. Now let's say you're with Samantha, and she's running out in the yard, and let's say you're with Samantha and she's running out in the yard, and she happens to step on a rusty nail. You know?
Yeah, that
she
happened to me as a kid. My dad
really
took me to the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know that could be expensive. So you have to get a tetanus shot, or maybe like a bee sting. You know, if it was infected or something happened, she would have to get that taken care of, or maybe even like a simple fall and she has to get stitches. What's the first thing that's gonna happen with you? You're probably gonna have to come out of work.
Yeah.
Pick her up, take her to the hospital, make sure everything's good. Now, what does that entail? You're gonna miss maybe, let's say, 4 to 5 hours at work, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, and on top of that, you're gonna have a medical bill to pay, and maybe even a copay. What this does is it gives you $200, as long as you report the incident within 72 hours, and like I said, you'll get up to $200 tax free. Now, the next one we have...
So I have to report it to you within 72 hours?
You don't have to report it to us. Like, that's why we have insurance agents come out. Like, our agents come out every 12 to 18 months to see if any families have back claims.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. We really take care of our guys, just like your union does. The next thing that we have is this benefit right here. Now, these are really, really important. All right. So the first one we're going to go over is this $400 benefit. Now this you get per day when you're confined in the hospital, up to 365 days per occurrence. So let's go back to that automotive accident that we were talking about. Now, let's say, Matt, like you're driving, you know, you look pretty tired, I know. Yeah, I see you're trying to keep your wife a stay-at-home mom,
sure am.
And you're raising your child the best. Yeah, I see you, man. You're doing the best you can right now. Now, let's say you're going to work and you don't see that idiot who runs the red light. You know, you didn't get your coffee yet. You know, you're still rubbing the crust out your eyes, and he T-bones you. Now you're in the hospital. What this benefit does is it gives you $400 per day of you confined in the hospital, up to 365 days. So that's a whole year of coverage. And like I said, this is all in your package. So that's 365 days of coverage. The next benefit that we have is, let's say, God forbid, that accident didn't go as well as we would hope. You know, the airbags didn't deploy, something like that happened. What this benefit does right here, it gives you $800 per day that you're in intensive care for up to 14 days. Now, if you're in the hospital in intensive care and you're laid up and strapped to a bed, what's going to happen? Nicole's probably not getting your paycheck.
No.
Bills are going to pile up, you know, and now it's going to be harder to make ends meet. And if you're in intensive care, I have a feeling that Nicole's going to be there too.
Yeah.
With you, there with you. Now, there's 2 paychecks being missing. Those bills are still piling up. So what we'll do is we'll give you $800, like I said, per day up to 14 days. And after that, let's say you're still in that hospital bed, we'll revert it right back to that $400 up for that whole year.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Dude,
what a lot of families
car
love.
Accidents. That's
Oh man.
Like,
so you might probably need this. And the other thing that makes this a big thing is this is strike and layoff proof. So, just to give you a rough example, when Verizon was off with their strike, we were right out there with them.
that's cool.
Exactly. If you're laid off or if you're on strike and you call us and let us know, we can waive your premiums for up to a whole year. Now, I don't know a lot of other companies that do that. If you were a part of like another agency, like maybe a Geico or something of that nature, and you called and told them this happened or you were on strike or laid off, they probably tell you, hey, get your car off the road because we know you're not going to make that payment. We look out for ours. That's why we give you this benefit right here, the strike and layoff proof. So, like I was saying, for this package right here, for package A, you'll get $30,000 of coverage. All these accidental death and dismemberment benefits, these benefits for your child, and all of these living benefits, plus the strike and layoff proof. Now, most of the families I sit down with go with option A just to make sure their families don't have that high bill at funeral time, God forbid if something happened. But what would be better for you in protecting your family? Option A or option B?
I mean, listen, it sounds like it's. Just sounds like it's too good to be true, babe. I mean, I'm not saying you're not wrong. I mean, obviously, I can see why it's so useful, man. But I mean, option A makes sense, but I just can't. I can't pull the trigger tonight. I just don't know if. I just don't know if I can afford it.
Well, understand this is not a big sales thing to get you to buy something you don't need. A lot of our members just love it because, to be honest, you're not going to get these rates from anybody else. We're not open to the public. We're a union. We work with mostly union members. The only way you get this recommendation, if you get that gold ticket or if you're a part of a union that we work with. So like I said, I don't think you're going to get these benefits from anybody else. And for these living benefits right here, this alone could cost up to $60 per person from a different policy. Is this really something you want to turn down and not have your family covered? Like I said, this covers you, your
you're
spouse,
right. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's definitely affordable. I mean, all right, I get what you're saying. If I even just cut out like some of my bad habits, I get it. It is cheap. I mean, because I've looked into other policies, and you're right about the $60. But my wife and I, we really, really like to think about things before we settle on them.
I understand that, and to be honest, you're telling me you're gonna think about it, and I get that, and I get that because I know you care about your family. Any man would, especially if you're working to keep her home and stuff. But there's only gonna be maybe 3 times you're gonna think about this. One, because I'm in front of you right now. Okay. You know, I leave today. You say you're gonna think about it, but life gets ahead of us. You have a whole child to take care of and a wife that's staying at home. You know. And I see you got this farm area, like you got animals to tend to and stuff. There's a lot of things that can happen in your day, especially. The second time you're going to think about it is when you're at the hospital, and maybe your health gets a turn for the worse. That third time you're going to think about it, it's not going to be you. It's going to be Nicole. And she's going to be wondering why you didn't take this policy and why she doesn't have enough money to give her best friend, the person she basically spent her whole life with, a proper burial. So, which option do you think will be better for you? Option A or option B?
It's going to be option A. We got to do this. You're right. Because it's just, we've never even sat down with somebody before. We're not going to make the time for it again. And I'm working 8 hours a week. And you're right. I can afford it. Yeah, let's get the full protection in place tonight. Let's go with option A.
Sounds good. All right, man. Sounds perfect. So what I'm going to need from you is your doctor's information, voided check, and your driver's license, so we can get this started today.
All right, I'm going to go grab that. You said you need a blank check?
Yep. No, a voided check. A voided check. Not a blank check. You trying to make it out to me?